station with training prepared for this evening. Please come with your call sign.
This is KC7IHV.
KC7IHV, Steve.
I don't have training prepared, but if we don't have a training, I have some questions to ask of our audience regarding training.
KC7IHV, please proceed, Steve.
Okay, this is KC7IHV, and looks like we've run into an issue where we don't have a trainer for tonight, but I do have some questions to ask those operators that do listen to the 9 o'clock training. And I guess question number one is the training that we're providing, is that something that's useful to you? And so I just like kind of open it up for comments. If it is, great, let us know. And if it isn't, what are your thoughts about the direction that we can take in order to make training interesting and something you can build your knowledge base on? So I want to go ahead and open it up for comments. This is KC7IHV.
This is KM7AEC. I find the training very useful, but I'm new at the process, so it's all good learning for me.
I had a hard time hearing that. Can somebody relay that for me?
Relay KM4QAA.
Go ahead, QAA.
Yes, I didn't note the call sign, but he said that he's new in amateur radio, but he does find the training valuable. If that station would like to repeat or add anything, I'll turn my volume up and pay attention. This is KM4QAA.
Oh, this is KM7AEC. Appreciate the relay.
Steve, that was KM7AEC. Do you copy?
Roger, roger on the call sign, KM7AEC. Do you have any further comments? You were coming in louder this time. I appreciate that.
KM7AEC, I just appreciate you all taking the time to do this for us.
Well, thank you. Do we have anyone else with a comment?
HA7BUI.
Go ahead, DUI.
Hey, Steve, I would love to see some information on a proper example of a stake emergency preparedness plan. That would really help put something together for our stake here in our local unit.
So a stake emergency preparedness plan.
Affirm.
Now, right now what we're doing, and this is not to change what you just asked for, but emergency response plans and emergency communications plans or emergency preparedness plan, which one were you looking for? I know what you said, but I don't know if that's what you really wanted.
It would be something that would be necessary for our stake to mobilize in the case of emergency regarding communications and the needs that we would have of who contacts who, what should be included in that document that our stake has as its emergency plan. And communications certainly falling under that, so that there's a clear understanding of whose responsibility is what, contacts and reaches out to who, how and where and why, and all those things.
Okay, I think I got the gist of that one. Sounds like I might be doing an emergency response plan. At least set up some of the basics for one. That is something I've been known to have to do. Okay, any further comments?
7HTH.
Yeah, X-ray Quebec.
Okay, we had a double error. Let's go with HTH first.
Steve, along with that, this is KB7HTH. We're having some questions that we're trying to answer. Having something multifaceted where with amateur radio, with FRS and GRMS, how to coordinate a net in our stake where we have several different things and making it all work where we can all check in.
Okay, well, let me take a stab at that. That can be an issue. I don't want to call it a problem, but it can be an issue because you have the potential for at least one, maybe two islands to develop. So whatever you do as an end result, there needs to be 2-meter communications capability to go between the county and the ERC, and because we just don't have the ability to take care of all of the GRMS, FRS stuff, it'd just be a nightmare. So everything has to be dropped down to amateur radio level, and so how the wards and the stakes want to handle that, it still has to go through an amateur radio operator in order to, like I said, either get it to the ERC or to the county or state or any of the other functions like that. Did that help any?
It helps a little. We're just trying to figure out how to use the GRMS to get to GRMS and FRS to get to us.
Okay, if you want to give me a call, probably not after the net tonight, but sometime this week when you have an opportunity, and maybe I can put you in with some what some of the others have been trying to put together, and some of them are very successful. I might add that those individuals or those groups that have a weekly check-in with FRS and GRMS are almost always successful. Those that want to do it once a month or once every 2 weeks, or just make sure you have a radio at your house, those fail miserably, and you want something that's going to be functional and ready to be used in case of an emergency. You know, it could be just a wildfire next door and if you're not practiced, you don't get there. Anyway, did that help?
Yeah, that part helps a lot. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later on the phone.
Thank you. Okay, the next one, I think it ended in Q. You want to go ahead and with your call sign? And
Kilo Golf 7, Juliet, X-Ray, Quebec.
X-Ray, Quebec, go ahead.
This is Sid, Kilo Golf 7, Juliet, X-Ray, Quebec. I missed the startup because I was taking retrieving my colors out front before it got dark. And maybe you've already covered this, but I noticed when I went onto the web page there was no slide listed, and it mentions the new ERC YouTube channel. That's before I got on, got my ears on. Over.
Okay, you broke up. I don't know if you're walking, but toward the end there we lost several syllables. Was anybody able to relay that?
Relay KB7HTH for Quebec Alpha Alpha. I believe the question was that he had didn't know that there would not be training. He was asking, though, about the YouTube channel information that is on the ERC website, and I'm thinking that is going to be past trainings. Am I correct? This is KM4QAA.
Let me do some NF7J. Are you on frequency? Apparently not. I don't have the answer to that. Do you have the answer to that, Holly?
Please come again with the question, Paul.
This is KM4QAA. Yes, I think it was Sid in the West Stake was asking about the information about the new ERC YouTube channel that's on the website. And of course, we don't have our regularly program training tonight, but he was wondering if that is would be used for training, or is it the record of old trainings? Back to you, Holly.
As far as I know, this is KF7BRO, it will be a record of past training. As far as I know, there will not be new content there. It will be accessible for those who, for one reason or another, were unable to hear it on a Wednesday night, whether they missed it because they had another meeting or whether they live out of the area. So that is my understanding. Back to K7,
Thank you, Holly. I thought that's what it was, but I haven't been that close to it. So, okay, do we have any other questions that anyone would like to bring up?
K5STF.
Okay, we had a double there, but I got STF, so go ahead, STF.
According to the ERC website, the first sentence about the new ERC YouTube channel says, the new ERC YouTube channel is now operational and will contain a collection of on-air training and future in-person meetings. And then it goes into further explanation there. So it's pretty detailed there. More information is available on the website. Also, for the gentleman who is looking for information about GMRS and 2-meter and how to get that through the stake, the Shelley 10th Ward has been doing that for 2 years, and if he has any questions, free to contact me, KE5STF.
Thank you for that. That's what I was going to do, is suggest that you and him get together. I think the Henry's Fork stake has been doing it as well, so those would be two potential people to get a hold of. So STF has been doing it very successfully, I believe, so definitely check out with him. Okay, do we have any other questions? I know there was another one out there that's clicking, but I'm not hearing them.
KC7JXF.
JXF, go ahead, please.
I'm not the source of your clicks, and I'm not going to try and answer the unasked question of what do you wish we would cover, but I'll respond to the actual question of what do we think of the training that's been presented. I've been doing ham radio for a little over 30 years. I've been doing electronics for a little longer than that. So there's a lot of this that is information I already know. But there's always new information that's useful, new products, new techniques, new applications. And I certainly respect that there are plenty of new operators who need trainings on the simpler aspects of amateur radio operation and emergency communications. I listen to all the trainings, some with more attention than others. And I think the breadth of topics and the scope that is covered is probably pretty decent.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel exactly the same way you are. I've have a lot of experience in electronics, RF, whatever, but there's always new things. And it's interesting, just one subject alone, batteries, they've changed so much over the last few years. And I expect that they're going to continue to change over the next few years. So, yep, there's all kinds of things. And I'll let that one be there. Do we have any more comments?
Break 7A Alpha Echo Charlie.
Alpha Echo Charlie, go ahead, please.
I want to put a plug in for Ammon West Stake. For our ECS activities, we have a lady named Tammy Grimet, just top-notch at radio, general ham certification. Her and Rocky, for us, they actually bought our radios for us. We paid them, and they went off and bought them, what would be the best one for the price. They programmed our radios for us. We meet on Wednesday nights periodically, and we scatter out around the state building, and we practice with them and talk on them. They helped us get our GMRS license. They actually came to my house and helped me program my ham radio. And so they're top-notch people if you ever want any help. I don't want to give her things to do, but it would be proper, but just top-notch people, Tammy Grimet and Rocky, Hammond West State, Sutter Ward.
Well, thank you for that. We've got a lot of good Elmers in our organization, and so for those of you who are new or have just come back to try to figure out what it was you thought you knew, I do that sometimes. Sometimes I need it. There's a lot of good people, have a lot of good experience, and so we need to utilize that experience. Okay, let's go with another phone or another call.
K7YAQ.
YAQ, go ahead.
Steve, this is Don, and just wanted to let you know that I was monitoring here, you and Holly and Paul, and that you, when I first started off 15 years ago, you were my Elmer, and I wanted to thank you for all the work that you put in back in those days, and may need you again one of these first days. K7YAQ, I'll be over.
Well, thank you, Don. Okay, let's go with another comment or question.
KK7EQB.
Go ahead, EQB.
Yeah, I was just wondering what's the possibility of putting a questionnaire on the website on different subjects that we could use in our knowledge and so forth. able to improve our skills?
You know, that's something, I'll bring that up, a question here. Something to kind of answer that, there's already well, let me ask you a question before I go any further. Do you have access to the website?
Yeah, I do.
Have you gone into the website and looked at all of the previous training?
Some of them I have, yeah.
Because there's a wealth of training there. But let me bring this up with the staff and see about putting a questionnaire out there, and we'll just see what happens there.
Thanks, KK7EQB.
Okay, let's go with the next question or comment.
KG7SMX.
Go ahead, SMX.
This is KG7SMX. I participated in the most recent exercise, and I have a couple of good radios, I think, but I left behind my base antenna and went mobile to do the exercise and found out I had a shortage of antennas that met the needs of the radios. I remember back when you did the training for my license, Steve, you talked about your Go kits and other numerous antennas that you have. One, for instance, that you could take to the top floor of a hotel and attach to the window and things like that. I would be interested in some training on mobile antenna alternatives.
Hey, I'm writing this down. So when you say mobile, are you talking about being out in a park or in the sticks someplace and needing an antenna, or you're traveling or in a hotel or something?
Anytime I'm away from my base antenna, so all of the above.
You'll have to have big pockets.
I have pretty good sized pockets, but they're not very full.
You can put roll-ups in it. You can put 19-inch, 19 and a quarter inch. There's just all kinds of stuff that you can do. Actually, a roll-up antenna, J-pole, 30 or 300 ohm roll-up J-pole antenna that will fit in your pocket, depending on how much coax you put on the end of it. You can hang them in a tree. You can tape them to a window in a hotel. One thing you don't want to do is hang them from a fire sprinkler in a hotel. That's probably not a smart thing to do, but there's a lot of places you could use a roll-up J-pole if you're talking 2 meter. Did that help you any?
I've never seen a training on a roll-up J-pole. I would love to see that. I've had people that have talked about success with J-poles. Honestly, I need a good Elmer, I guess. I don't even know what a J-pole is.
Well, I put that down on the list here. We'll see if we can address that one. Okay, did that help you out?
Yeah, I appreciate your enthusiasm and taking some notes, and hope to see some training on those subjects. This is WRKT 573, clear?
Okay, let's go for the next question.
KF7FFD.
Go ahead, Chris.
Yes, good evening, Steve, and thanks for fielding these questions. You know, we have a number of different trainings. We have the on-air trainings, and then we have our regional trainings. My question to you is, do we have a way, or is there something that is structured for the regional, trainings where we usually meet, and then we could even have other Zoom session trainings that we have, which is more storehouse-wide. Are there, each one of those different trainings have different positives and negatives about what information could be shared with them? More hands-on might be something that would be a regional training, and I just didn't know if we had any guidelines. I'm sure Kevin does, and obviously there's a lot of guidelines that are practical guidelines that you already follow. But I just was wondering if some of these things and ideas that have come up might fit a different slot. One might be a better on-air training, one might be a better regional training. Anyways, just didn't know if you guys had any protocol as to that way, other than just kind of practicality. Over.
Well, the answer to that is yes and no. Now, we used to have in-person training prior to COVID and prior to losing access to the storehouse. And just to talk a little bit about the storehouse, I was on a conversation about that again today. And for those of you who don't know why we don't go to the storehouse or whatever, is the storehouse has been designated as a food preparation place by the FDA. And so we don't go in there because we don't have food handling training or anything like that. So we just don't want to mess with that. I assume we might have a meeting over there in the back maybe, but not a regular meeting. It'd be for we have some equipment over there that we need to get moved out. But anyway, that's the story behind the storehouse, why we don't meet over there on a regular basis, because we've built hundreds of antennas over there. We've just done all kinds of things. And it was really a neat resource, and we don't have that resource anymore. Okay, let's go for another. Did that answer you, Chris?
Yeah, I had a kind of a meandering question anyways, more of a comment/question than anything, but that got it there, Steve. And one more, I do have another question, though, another one that we don't have anymore that I would love to see back one day is the conferences that we used to have at BYU Idaho. I know that might we might never see that again, but boy, that was another great wealth of knowledge and resources. Anyways, back to you.
Yes, Chris, that would be awesome if we could get those conferences back. I don't see that in the near future. It doesn't mean we're going to give up on trying, but we don't have the local support to help push that out there. And the other issue that we had is once we did that, we didn't have it. The people in Salt Lake were inundated with people from all over the country, all over the world, wanting to know why it wasn't held at BYU, Utah, why it isn't held in every county and state in the United States and overseas, and why isn't it done da-da-da-da-da-da. And so we were kind of the recipients of, it was great while we did it, but a lot of people suffered what they felt like a lot of pain because we did do it. So I don't see it happening, but maybe we can do something on a more local basis and make it so it isn't quite so widely advertised. We had people from Hawaii, Florida, Canada, and most states, not all states, but many of them, and it was well received by those that came. Those that came from outside of our area were chastised because it was supposed to be a local training, but it all worked in my mind out really, really well. Anyway, I'll get off of that one. Okay, do we have any other comments or suggestions?
Kilo Mike 7 Golf.
You're a little light there. I got the golf on the end. Go ahead, please.
This is KM7G. Can you hear me, Steve?
KF7G, I got that one. Go ahead. KF7G, go ahead. I believe that was Keelan. I'm not hearing you come back again, Keelan.
This is KM7G. Can you hear me now, Steve?
Yes.
Okay, I'm on the handheld. But for the foldable JPEL antenna, that Slim Jim, and there's a lot of information on the internet for that. KM7G.
Yes, there is a lot of information out there for the roll-up J-pole or Slim Jim. There's a number of names for them. And the one thing you do have to have is you need to find some of the older 300 ohm flat ladder line cable. The newer stuff doesn't seem to work. So if somebody's interested in making some of those, let me know. I may know where there's a source for some of that stuff. But so if that's a case, we can do something there. Thank you, Keelan. Okay, let's go for another one, then we probably ought to hang up this evening.
Kilo Mike 4, Quebec Alpha Alpha.
Go ahead, Quebec Alpha Alpha.
Yes, this is a response to the question about getting GMRS and 2 meters together. Every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, there are 2 nets, and so I have a GMRS radio and a 2 meter radio sitting side by side. I connect the coaxial connectors to a device called a duplexer, and then I connect my coax going to my dual band J pole to that, and I can run both systems simultaneously. That's just ITU. Steve gave me that one, and just ask questions, and people will tell you how to do it. Thanks a lot. Back to you.
KB7 ITU.
Go ahead, ITU.
So what Britt was getting at when he asked that question, he's in my stake, and I was talking to him about it, just a concern that I've got. We've got 5 ECSs in our stake that are non-hams, and the rest of them are all ham radio operators. And the issue that we're having is how to combine the two of us together. The two groups, right? The non-hams and the hams in one group. We can do it on commercial radio, but if we do it on commercial radio simplex, only I can hear them. The rest of the people, our stake is so big they can't hear each other, and that doesn't work out very well. And we can't use the ham bands, and we can't, and we're not really set up to use the commercial repeater in an emergency, because that's strictly for stake to ward communication, ward to stake. And we do have ham radio operators that can get out of the affected area, so we're not creating an island in any way, because there's hams in every group. But it's just getting them together so we can all communicate in one group with amateur radio operators and commercial radio operators. So that's basically what Brett was getting at there when he asked the question. KB7 ITU, back to Ned.
Thank you, Steve, for that clarification. Do we have any other comments on that? Okay, do we have any pressing comments that someone has? If not, we'll go ahead and turn this back to net control. Okay, hearing none, I'm going to turn this back to KF7BRO. Holly, back to you.
Steve, thank you so much for a very productive conversation to every participant. This is KF7BRO, net control station for the ERC net tonight. For the information of those on the net, well, let me ask first. Nope, I got that. Okay, for the information of those on the net, we have the following regional report. Idaho Falls North Region reported 28 check-ins with 26 on emergency power. Idaho Falls South reported 26 check-ins with 26 on emergency power. Rexburg reported 25 check-ins with 24 on emergency power. And Rigby reported 27 check-ins with 26 on emergency power, for a grand total of 106 check-ins with 102 emergency power. Is there any additional traffic or system business for the ERC net?
It's KM7 AEC. Maybe an additional topic that just thought about was maybe we should have a discussion sometime on how to get on emergency power.
AEC, thanks for that topic of how to get on emergency power. KC7IHV, I hope you'll make a note of that. Are there any announcements for the net before we close? None heard. Thank you, everyone, for your participation in this net. The Emergency Response Communications net is now closed, and all stations are released. This is KF7BRO in Northeast Idaho Falls. The frequency is now clear for normal communications.
This is KC7IHB. That question regarding emergency power, could I get you to repeat that? You've got a little bit of steam on you, and I didn't get all of it.
So it's KM7 AEC. Question was just, what kind of equipment to buy and how to get on emergency power.
Okay, what I got out of that was you're interested in what kind of emergency power, I guess it is, and equipment. And, okay, we can put that down there. It's depending on what you have for radios and stuff like that. If sometime you want to give me a call, I can tell you what I'm running and how I do things, if that's of any use to you. And we can just run from there. Did that help you any?
Yes, thanks.
Okay, this is KC7IHV, and I'll monitor for a few more minutes.
KC7IHV, KB7ITU.
Go ahead, ITU.
Did you read my email I sent you?
Why would I read your email when I can't read?
I know. You never read my emails when I send them to you. It had to do with this Meshtastic that's beginning to get kind of popular. We've got quite the push up here going. BYU Idaho, I didn't know they had one up there, but they do. This Meshtastic, and there's a guy from over in the Teton Valley that's a pilot, a commercial pilot, and he's got one set up on Relay Ridge. He could only get up part way because he couldn't get past the snow line, but he hung it in a tree up there, and he was able to link clear into Twin Falls with it. So a phenomenal system. I've been reading about it for the last couple of 3 days when I had some spare time, and anyway, he's got a G2 node that he's got built up that he's going to sell me for cost, and I'm going to set one up out here. But it's totally internet independent. Some of the nodes have Ethernet connections so that you can get on the internet if you want to, but him and his dad has got phone system set up between him and his dad, and there's just all kinds of things that you can do. But mainly what I want to do is something that runs 900 megahertz so you can encrypt with it. It's license free unless you go in the 433 megahertz band, which is amateur, but you can encrypt there. So I just thought stay with the 900 megahertz and everybody can use it. And it would work fantastic for a stake. And Ray, KF7, oh my goodness, I can't think of his call sign in Salmon, has one set up there. And from his node, they're going 15 miles to the little mesh networks and the little mesh nodes in the houses that only have like 1.5-inch antennas. And I just think it has some really neat emergency applications that a guy could use. Go ahead.
Yeah, let's talk on the telly. Probably not tonight. I got another call I got to make. But yeah, I'm interested in it somewhat. My past experience and understanding of it is pretty much a slow mode used for like meters on houses, water meters. I'm choking to death. I'm going to die, maybe.
No problem. Yeah, it runs a 902 to 928 megahertz range. So anyway, there's a lot of Meshtastic stuff out there now that's pre-built. There's some you can build yourself. There's some that you can, that's got sensors in them that for weather and all kinds of stuff. But if you start digging into it, you're going to go down a rabbit hole that is probably not too easy to get out of, but it sure is interesting. They've got a new battery out now that they're putting on some of these nodes that they're lithium batteries. They're a new style. They're a new chemical, and they're good for 40 below zero, and way high in temperature also. So anyway, yeah, we can talk another day. I just thought I'd bring it up and wet your whistle there a little bit, and you can go look at things over. So I'll let you go. KC7IHV, KB7ITU.
Thanks, Steve, and we'll chat with you a little bit later. It's KC7IHV, and I'll be clear.
KM7AEC.
AEC, you doubled with IHV. You're pretty light. Go ahead.
I say you can use AI now to read those emails and it'll verbalize it for you.
There you go. That's what he needs.
KB7ITU, KM4QAA.
Hi, Paul. Go ahead.
Hey, Steve, I think, too, you could probably use AI just to have it go in there and delete everything. That's an application I'd like to have. But seriously, what emergency traffic, what type of emergency traffic would you see as fitting into the ERC ecosystem here to use on Meshtastic?
Okay, so you can set it up for texting and email, right? So you can you could do basically locally everything you can do on WinLink or something like that. Now bear in mind, all I know is you can text with it, you can email with it, you can set up. There's people that have set up video conferencing, all kinds of things. I don't know to what extent. I'm still learning myself, but for for passing needed supplies, list of needed supplies and stuff like that, or pertinent, sensitive information where it's encrypted. It could be transferred with sensitive information that you can't send over amateur radio. A few things like that. Paul, go ahead.
Okay, you just mentioned what I'm thinking is that you can send personally identifiable information. If you have sent on ham radio a spreadsheet of statuses of people, but you don't put down their names, you could send the actual names on the encrypted Meshtastic.
Yeah, that's the way, that's what I've understood. Have you had a chance, since I mentioned it on the net the other night, to look into any of that?
Well, I looked into it back in the winter, and I've got some LilyGo units here, but with other things, that's just kind of slid off to the side. I look at Meshtastic as a special purpose tool and not for just general use, but I could be wrong. And of course, it continues to evolve. I look at a website called, I'll think of it in a minute, but he updates about, he updates about the growth, the development of Meshtastic. Ham radio crash course. There's good information there.
KB7ITU, yeah. Well, and I've got one friend that's back in Oregon that's using it for hunting camp. They've got the little personal meshes. They've got one that hangs around your neck. It's called a LilyGo T-Deck. That's not right. The T-Deck's the bigger one. This one's the size of a credit card. And it hangs on a lanyard around your neck or off your backpack or something like that, and Bluetooth to your phone. So you text with your phone, you email with your phone, so on and so forth. And they use it at hunting camp for communicating back and forth and stuff out through the woods and stuff. So there's that, and then I think for a stake to be able to communicate, just on everyday occurrences. I mean, everyday things, just coordinations or, whatever. You could basically use it like GroupMe, if the mesh net or if the internet went down, you'd still have that available. It can be linked with the internet if you want to in some cases, but it's also independent of the internet. So, you could still keep in touch with your stakes and your wards and stuff like that. So I see a lot of different avenues. But I'm an old packeteer back in the packet radio days too. So and that was a valuable. We set up BBSs and all kinds of things, and you can do that on the Mesh network on Meshtastic as well. We did that back with the packet radio days. We had radio modifications that you could go through. You could spend hours in there going through the different things on the BBSs. But anyway, back to you, Paul.
Okay, Steve. Yeah, I tell people that you know too much. You know so much stuff that you go down rabbit holes and places and all kinds of things. So I'm pretty simple-minded, and I just try to look to see what's our most practical application for this. And I think it's still developing, but it has great promise. So we'll see what's what, and I'm glad to hear that you're interested in it. And let us know as time goes by what you find out. This is Kilo Mike for Quebec Alpha Alpha.
Oh, I will. Yeah, I will. Where he's already got a big, tall node set up there on relay, it wouldn't be that hard to link into Idaho Falls area and then start linking together. And the thing that's nice about the Meshtastic, the LilyGo, the what do they call that? HELTEC, HELTEC. There's a lot of different types out there. they're all self-discovering, so they'll discover one another. So in other words, if say for instance Holly could get into the big tall node and you couldn't, you could still reach Holly, and she could link through her, and you could get into the node. So it's all self-discovering. If one connects, the others will connect to it. So kind of interesting stuff, and the more you read about it, the more you go down that rabbit hole. See you later, Paul. Have a good evening. KB7 ITU.